Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Martial Universe Season 9 Part 66 based on novel. So let's start. King level Yimo. Lindong's scalp was numb as he lifted his head to look at the huge black crack in the sky. No light was present. That endless evil darkness caused one to shudder. The words that were emitted from Mo Luo's mouth had clearly caused him to be greatly shocked. A king rank Yimo, even during the ancient era, and Yimo of that rank was an extremely terrifying existence. If one was to classify it using the human ranking system, he would be a genuine reincarnation stage expert. From a certain point of view, Lindong had never met a peak-level expert who had stepped into the reincarnation stage in person. Although Qingji had already reached that level, Lindong had not met him in person. As for Ying Huan, though she might be the Ice Master, who was extremely frightening even during the ancient times, but that was merely her identity before her reincarnation. Those other super experts whom he had met like Ying Xuanzi, the three great heads of the Yuan Gate, Mu Lan, and the rest, were merely at the Samsara stage. There was still a wide gap that was difficult to breach when compared with a genuine reincarnation stage expert. As for Mo Luo, although he possessed strength that was comparable to a reincarnation stage expert because of his blazing ancestral symbol, he had yet to truly step into the reincarnation stage. However, this so-called king rank Yimo standing in front of him could be considered to have truly reached a level which few people have ever touched. Standing on a fire phoenix, Tang Xinlian and Elder Kai Yun had a change in their expressions at this moment. A king rank Yimo. It was unexpected that they had even lured the king amongst the Yimo over. Most people in the city were at a loss when they saw this scene. The king rank Yimo that Mo Luo mentioned caused them to be puzzled. However, that was not the case for everyone present. Although knowledge regarding the Yimo had gradually disappeared in the present world, there were still some remnant traces. Hence, some of the more powerful experts vaguely knew about their existence. Hence, these people merely gawked at the black crack in the sky in a startled manner. Their faces turned frighteningly pale while horror gathered deep within their eyes. You are indeed worthy of being the owner of the blazing ancestral symbol. Standing before the crack, the three great general rank Yimo smilingly watched Mo Luo, who was standing in the distant Flame Divine Hall. Their eyes were a little grave as they stared at the latter. Clearly, even though they were Yimo, they did not dare to underestimate Mo Luo, who had reached the Samsara stage and had a divine object like the blazing ancestral symbol. After all, there were many experts who died in the hands of the ancestral symbol owners ever since the ancient times. Mo Luo's bright red eyes stared indifferently at the three great Yimo generals. He immediately lifted his hand before swinging it down gently. Bang! After Mo Luo waved his hand, it was possible to see many majestic auras suddenly erupting from within the Flame Divine Hall. Light figures flashed and many people appeared all over the sky. Countless pairs of eyes from within the sky looked at the large group, which had appeared. Their eyes were grave while a tinge of shock quickly rose onto their faces. This was because they realized that the ones who had shown up were actually all extremely renowned experts from the Flame Divine Hall. This time around, the Flame Divine Hall had actually unleashed all of its strength. The three great general rank Yimo in the sky looked at those top-tier experts from the Flame Divine Hall surrounding them, before they lifted their brow. The Flame Divine Hall was indeed well prepared. Show yourself. Mo Luo repeated. His eyes were searing hot as he stared at the huge black crack. Ha ha. The owners of the ancestral symbols are indeed difficult to deal with. Viscous black demonic chi suddenly surged out like floodwater from within the huge black crack line. The black demonic chi erupted into a deafening searing sound upon contact with this world. The Yuan power that originally spread over this world had completely disappeared upon contact with this viscous black demonic chi. A terrifying indescribable aura slowly appeared from within the crack at this moment. Countless experts lifted their heads in shock. Just this aura alone had pressured them until they trembled continuously. In fact, they even had the impulse to kneel down. Gulp gulp. Monstrous like viscous black chi suddenly surged. After which, a huge black throne slowly formed in the sky in front of countless pairs of eyes. A human figure had unknowingly appeared on the throne as it was taking shape. The human figure was wearing purple robes and he looked just like a human. However, there was a pair of ferocious demon wings behind him. His demon wings revealed a purple gold luster and there seemed to be an extermination-like ripple being emitted from it as it was extended. He had a purple pair of eyes. However, one was unable to see any emotions within them. It was as though those eyes belonged to the Grim Reaper. Is this the Yimo King? Lindong's eyes did not blink as he stared the purple-robed man seated on the throne. Immediately, his expression turned grave. The terrifying aura seeping out from the latter's body caused the two great ancestral symbols in his body to tremble slightly. Mo Luo's eyes were also focused on the purple-robed man. A moment later, the flame symbol on his brow suddenly lit up. His body slowly floated while bright red flames swept around him. His ripples were not inferior to that of the purple-robed man. This king is known as Qianming. You can call me King Qianming. These are my 3 great demon generals. I have traveled a great distance today because of Hall Chief Mo Luo's invitation. The purple-robed man wore a smile as he looked at Mo Luo and spoke in a calm voice. You actually dare to come despite knowing that this is a trap. It seems like you are quite confident. Mo Luo spoke in a faint voice. Ha ha, the allure of the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol is far too great. It is worth a trip. Even if the Thunderbolt ancestral symbol is fake, the blazing ancestral symbol is real. King Qianming laughed. We have long known that Hall Chief Mo Luo possessed the blazing ancestral symbol. However, we were unable to act. Since we have appeared today, we will also take the blazing ancestral symbol at the same time. It is best that such divine objects do not land in your hands. I'm afraid that you do not have the ability to snatch my blazing ancestral symbol. Mo Luo narrowed his eyes and said, Ha ha, my tribe can easily destroy the lightning cave. Naturally, we are able to easily eliminate your flame divine hall as well. Only by sacrificing 1 king rank Yimo, that was no easy task. Even though there are still Yimo remaining in this world, I wonder just how many kings are left. King Qianming smiled faintly. However, that smile suddenly became a lot sterner. His purple eyes stared at Mo Luo as he slowly stood up. Monstrous demonic aura spread out and blotted out the sun as he did so. This world will ultimately be ours. King Qianming laughed. He immediately rotated his eyes and looked towards Lindong below. Why does this little fellow cause me to feel such disgust? He is even more disgusting to look at compared to you. Kill him. King Qianming parted his mouth into a smile, revealing his dense white teeth. His chilling murderous intent caused one's body to tremble. Understood. The 3 great demon generals immediately replied after hearing his order. They laughed strangely while their bodies moved. The space itself became distorted. How dare you? Tang Xinlian's pretty eyes quickly became icy after she saw that they wanted to attack Lindong. A cold cry sounded before the fire phoenix under her feet whistled forward. All of you should stay here obediently. The space in front of them distorted before 2 black figures appeared in a flash. Demonic chi rose. Not only did they manage to block the fire phoenix, but even Elder Kai Yun had difficulty freeing himself. Tang Xinlian's pretty face was altered after she saw the 2 great demon generals standing in front of her. She hurriedly rotated her eyes. It was possible to see a black light appearing in front of Lindong below. Master! Tang Xinlian hurriedly cried out upon seeing this. However, Mo Luo did not do anything in the face of her cry. He stared intently at King Qianming, who had stood up in the distance. Even he did not dare to underestimate an opponent of this level. Swoosh! The space in front of Lindong was distorted. The Yimo, which was wrapped by monstrous black chi, appeared in a flash. His eyes were indifferent as he glanced at the former. After which, he directly slammed his hand forward. Although I do not know why there is a need to view a little fellow like you seriously, we will take your puny little life since the Lord has ordered us to do so. Swish swish. The land around Lindong collapsed the moment the Yimo attacked. Even the space itself became distorted, sealing off all escape routes. Furthermore, given his current condition, there was nothing he could do against an ultimate samsara stage expert. Lin Dong lifted his head. He looked at the black light rapidly being magnified in his eyes. He clenched his teeth as he gently shut his eyes. However, a bright green light suddenly flashed just as Lin Dong was about to completely shut his eyes. A familiar dragon roar resounded in an earth-shaking fashion. Bang! The space above Lin Dong quickly cracked apart. At the same time, a huge green dragon palm penetrated through the space and ruthlessly smashed onto the body of the Yimo general. A terrifying strength spread, and the Yimo general, who had reached the samsara stage, actually shot 100,000 feet backwards. Along the way, the buildings were all reduced into dust upon contact. Countless people involuntarily cried out in a startled voice. Lin Dong was stunned when he saw this scene. He quickly turned his head and saw green light surfacing from the cracked space behind him. A tall figure slowly stepped out as a mocking laughter resounded in the sky. He is someone selected by me, Qingji. How can I allow you to easily kill him? The green light slowly spread before it scattered. A green-clothed, tall and muscular figure stopped beside Lin Dong. Many pair of eyes turned to look at his direction. That man was quite handsome. His black hair swayed with the wind, giving him a serene and ethereal appearance. Countless people within the city were staring at this green-clothed man, who had a handsome appearance. Their eyes contained shock and aghast that could not be hidden. The source of this shock was naturally the 100,000 feet long deep gully in front of them, and a miserable black figure at the end of the gully. Everyone could feel a relatively terrifying aura from the so-called demon general. In fact, it was comparable to that of an ultimate samsara stage expert. Yet, someone who possessed such terrifying strength was sent flying from a casual palm strike by this green-clothed man. Just how frightening must he be? Reincarnation stage. Some of the more powerful individuals faced each other. Their mouths contained a trembling and hoarse voice. Other than a top-tier expert who had stepped into the reincarnation stage, who else was able to push a samsara stage expert back by such an extent? It requires great courage just to utter those two simple words. Anyone in this world who reached the samsara stage was powerful enough to become an overlord. As for the stage above it, the reincarnation stage, it was considered as the peak of the world. These powerful beings were like divine beings in the hearts of many. However, right now, they were able to personally witness the appearance of this terrifying existence. Hence, it was naturally impossible to describe the shock and awe in their hearts. Elder Qingji. Lin Dong was also stunned as he looked at the green-clothed man beside him. Joy quickly surged from within his eyes. Ha ha, little fellow, it has been a long time since we last met. Qingji looked at Lin Dong and smiled. After which, he glanced at a seriously wounded Hua Chen and Xu Xiu, who were lying at a short distance away. He laughed, "You have done well. It is all thanks to you that our plan has succeeded." Lin Dong felt a little embarrassed after hearing his evaluation. He was aware that Qingji was probably aware of everything that had happened here. The expression on Qingji's face became a little gentler after he saw Lin Dong's expression. His eyes also contained a tinge of admiration. When he first met Lin Dong back then, the latter was merely a youth who came from a low-ranked empire. Yet, within a short 2 to 3 years, this gradually growing young man had swiftly become powerful and dazzling at a shocking rate. It seems like he still had a good eye for talent. Bang! A black fog suddenly charged forward from the ruins in the distance, shattering the huge rocks around it. After which, the demon general, whose entire body was covered in black fog, stood up in a miserable fashion. His pair of dark and ruthless eyes stared at Qingji. However, his eyes also contained fear that could not be hidden. Qingji glanced at him before lifting his head to look at King Qianming, who was in a face-off with Mo Luo in the sky. He spoke in a faint voice, "King Qianming, huh? I have heard of your name. Ha ha, Green Dragon King Qingji, it is unexpected that you are still alive." Hovering in the sky, King Qianming focused his attention on Qingji. His purple pupils shrunk as he spoke. "Thanks to all of you, I was fortunate enough to enter the reincarnation stage. Qingji laughed. A reincarnation stage expert and an ancestral symbol owner. It seems like you have planned pretty well this time around. King Qianming smiled faintly and said, all of you have hid in this world for so many years. It is time for you guys to show yourself. This place does not belong to you, Mo Luo spoke in a deep voice. We also want to leave. Why don't you help us by breaking the seal between the planes? King Qianming mockingly said. Instead of doing that, it is better to destroy all of you, Yimo. Mo Luo's faint voice had a murderous aura rising within it. That seal between the planes was something that the symbol ancestor created in exchange for his life. If they were to break it, the Yimo tribe would definitely launch an invasion. At that time, this world would face a terrifying calamity. Ha ha, even the symbol ancestor was unable to do so, much less all of you. King Qianming laughed. He did not reveal much fear even when facing Qingji and Mo Luo. Although this fiery flame city was the headquarters of the Flame Divine Hall, the lineup on King Qianming's side was also extremely frightening. A king rank Yimo and 3 general rank Yimo. This lineup could easily flip any super faction upside down. Qingji did not become furious after hearing this. Instead, he laughed in a free and easy manner. I am quite curious about what you guys are after, considering that you guys have been hiding for so many years. May I know if King Qianming wants to tell me about it? Believe me, you do not want to know the truth. This is because it will cause all of you to descend into despair. King Qianming laughed faintly. In that case, Qingji shook his head and said, all we can do is to seal you and try to obtain information then. Ha ha, do you know the price you have to pay to seal an Yimo king? King Qianming laughed loudly. And Yimo was different from a human. They possess extremely strong and terrifying life force. In order for the Lightning Emperor back then to seal an Yimo king, he had to pay the price with his life. Although with Qingji and Mo Luo joining forces, it was possible to suppress this King Qianming, it would still be quite difficult to seal him. It has been many years since I have fought with all of you. Looks like it is finally time to fight today. Qingji smiled faintly. He turned his head to look at Lin Dong. His palm gently patted on the latter's shoulder and a green light surged from it. Soon after, Lin Dong could detect a surging pure Yuan power rushing into his body like floodwater. This Yuan power was extremely pure. Moreover, there was a somewhat familiar feeling within it. It was the strength of the green heaven materialized dragon skill. Use the devouring ancestral symbol to swallow them and recover. Both Mo Luo and I need to join forces in order to prevent that King Qianming from escaping. Lin Dong was startled. He spoke hesitantly, there are still 3 other demon generals. And Yimo King was indeed terrifying. However, the 3 great demon generals were no ordinary pushovers either. They were equivalent to 3 ultimate samsara stage expert. Even within the chaotic demon sea, they possessed strength that rivaled the chiefs of some super factions. Clearly, with the strength of the Flame Divine Hall alone, it was impossible for them to deal with the 3 great demon generals. Kai Yun will deal with one of the 3 great demon generals. After which, that Tang Lass will lead the top experts from the Flame Divine Hall to surround and attack another one. Of course, you will need to help her. Qingji said. There is still one more, Lin Dong frowned slightly. Ha ha, there will naturally be someone else to deal with him. Qingji laughed. He turned around and appeared beside Mo Luo without elaborating. You have finally shown up. Mo Luo glanced at Qingji and said. It is pointless for me to show up if your plan failed. Qingji laughed. Do you have so little confidence in the little fellow you have chosen? He has indeed exceeded my expectation. Ha ha, he has actually relied on himself to master the green heaven materialized dragon skill until this level, Qingji smiled. An admiration flashed across his eyes. That little fellow is pretty decent. He is courageous and strong. I do like him. If he gets together with Tang Xinlian, I won't have to worry that there will be no one to succeed me. Mo Luo laughed. However, his words had only just sounded when he suddenly saw Tang Xinlian standing on Flame Phoenix a short distance away, shooting her sharp and embarrassed eyes over. He immediately coughed dryly. It was likely that he did not expect his precious disciple to have such sharp ears. We should resolve the big problem in front of us first. Qingji smiled, shook his head and said. Mo Luo's face gradually turned grave upon hearing this. He clenched his hands before bright red flames slowly rose from them. It was likely that this would be a truly difficult fight. After all, a king rank Yumo had not appeared in this world for many years. While the face-off between the top-rank experts in the sky was proceeding, standing on the ground, Lin Dong was quietly rotating the devouring ancestral symbol. After which, he devoured and absorbed all the yuan power Qingji had poured into his body, at a shocking rate. Lin Dong's exhausted yuan power was recovering at a shocking speed as he devoured. At this moment, a red figure rushed down from the sky. After which, it appeared beside Lin Dong. Tang Xinlian extended her hand and grabbed Lin Dong's hand. Again? Lin Dong was neither able to cry nor smile when he saw this scene. Teacher has asked me to return that thunderbolt ancestral symbol essence to you. Tang Xinlian's pretty face reddened. She glared at Lin Dong before ignoring him. A faint silver light rose on her hand before it quietly entered Lin Dong's body. Buzz. After the thunderbolt ancestral symbol essence entered his body, Lin Dong could immediately detect his thunderbolt ancestral symbol becoming violent. After which, a low and deep thunder roar reverberated within his body. Bright lightning whistled out and danced on Lin Dong's limbs. Those injuries he had suffered from the intense battle earlier were recovering at a shocking speed as the lightning surged. It is finally complete. Lin Dong clenched his hand tightly as he sensed his body swiftly recovering. His powers was also stronger than before. He could clearly feel that the small defect of the thunderbolt ancestral symbol had disappeared at this moment. Surging and majestic strength once again rippled within his body. Majestic yuan power swept out from within Lin Dong's body and its intensity was even stronger than before. Clearly, the bitter fight from before had also brought great benefits to Lin Dong. The devouring ancestral symbol is powerful indeed. Tang Xinlian looked at Lin Dong, who was recovering at a frightening rate. A tinge of shock flashed across her pretty eyes as she involuntarily praised. If she was in his position, it was likely that she would need at least one day in order to recover from that huge fight. However, Lin Dong had shrunk the amount of time needed by many times. Elder Qingji has helped me. Moreover, after that thunderbolt essence was returned, my powers seemed to have increased significantly. A cluster of white vapor was spat out from Lin Dong's mouth. This white vapor was filled with a dense life qi. Moreover, at the middle of the life qi, one could spot faint traces of an extremely weak black light flickering in it. Is this death qi? Tang Xinlian's pretty eyes stared intensely at the weak black light within the white vapor. She quickly smiled and said, "Congratulations. It seems that you are only one step away from the profound death stage." Lin Dong smiled gently. However, waves involuntarily stirred in his heart. Profound death stage. This stage, which was once a towering and untouchable existence in his eyes, was now in close proximity. His 1 year of bitter training had eventually paid off. What do you plan to do now? Lin Dong lifted his head. He looked at the top-level face-off in the distant sky. After which, he glanced at the 3 great demon generals with monstrous demonic qi. His eyes became a little grave as he asked. Master and Elder Qingji will join forces to suppress King Qianming. Elder Kai Yun will deal with 1 demon general. I will lead the Flame Divine Guard and the many top-level experts from the Flame Divine Hall to deal with another demon general. Tang Xinlian laughed softly. Her eyes were bright as she uttered these words. Her clear bright eyes was filled with confidence that could not be described by words. He is equivalent to an ultimate samsara stage expert. Lin Dong fondled his chin. Although there were many top-level experts in the Flame Divine Hall, even if they joined forces, it was no easy task to deal with a demon general. If we are all scattered, it will be naturally impossible to deal with an ultimate expert at the samsara stage. However, it is not impossible for us to do so under my command. Tang Xinlian turned her head. Her hand gently patted Lin Dong's shoulder. Her pretty eyes was just like that of an empress looking down upon the world. Her smile was bright and prideful. In a one-on-one fight, I might be no match for an abnormal being like you. However, I am confident that I will beat you countless times if we were to fight in a war. Lin Dong was speechless as he coughed dryly. Being treated in such a rude fashion by a girl of similar age caused him to feel like his pride as a man was hurt. However, he understood that it was because he was used to acting alone. Hence, in terms of leadership ability, he was indeed no match for Tang Xinlian. In fact, asking him to lead a group of experts to fight together might only end up making things worse. The smile on the corner of Tang Xinlian's mouth became even more enchanting after she saw Lin Dong's irritated manner. However, she understood that this man's pride had swelled to its limit. Hence, she wisely chose to soften her stance as she laughed. Of course, I will also need your help to deal with that general rank Yimo. Why do you need me since you are so capable? Lin Dong rubbed his nose and snorted. All right, you are a man. There is no need to be so petty, is there? Tang Xinlian smilingly said, it is quite difficult to deal with the Yimo Qi. We will need the strength of an ancestral symbol to suppress it. However, you can be rest assured that I will not expose the fact that you own an ancestral symbol. Lin Dong nodded before asking, what about the other demon general? Who will deal with him? Ha, leave the last Yimo general to me. A laughter suddenly sounded behind Lin Dong. The latter suddenly turned his head and saw two figures appearing in a flash. One of them was Mu Lingshan. However, she was being held by a large hand at this moment. The person holding her was a familiar figure. It was precisely Mu Lan, whom Lin Dong had met once before. Elder Mu Lan. Lin Dong was pleasantly surprised when he saw that man. It was likely that he did not expect Mu Lan to show up. I came together with Qing Ji. It is only natural for me to come and join in the fun for such a huge matter. Mu Lan smiled towards Lin Dong. However, his smile quickly turned into a helpless one. He lowered his head and looked at Mu Lingshan, who had opened her small mouth and was ruthlessly biting his arm. At this moment, the latter widened her furious large eyes as she muttered in an indistinct voice, "Put me down. You troublemaker. You are always around wherever there is trouble." Mu Lan smilingly chided. After which, he released her. Immediately, the latter fled and hid behind Lin Dong. Her small face was filled with displeasure. Leave the final Yimo general to me. It has been many years since I last fought with them. Mu Lan turned to face Lin Dong and Tang Xinlian as he smilingly said. In that case, we will have to trouble Elder Mu Lan. Tang Xinlian felt a little happy. Rushing wind sound was transmitted from the sky at this moment. Many powerful figures appeared beside her. They were the top experts in the Flame Divine Hall. Lin Dong's eyes swept across these people, who had appeared beside Tang Xinlian. His eyes involuntarily shrunk. There were approximately 20 people present. However, all of them were at the profound death stage. In fact, there were even 4 elders amongst them who were even more terrifying. They had actually reached the perfect profound death stage. This lineup caused Lin Dong to be quietly speechless. The Flame Divine Hall indeed lives up to its name. It's no wonder it was able to become an overlord in the chaotic demon sea. Ha, Mu Lan, it seems like I will have to fight together with you this time around. A red light flashed in the sky as the first elder of the Flame Divine Hall appeared. He glanced at Mu Lan before laughing out loud. Mu Lan smiled and nodded. His demeanor was calm and unrestrained. TSK, you are actually thinking of blocking us 3 great demon generals with just these people? Demonic chi spread over the sky as the 3 great demon generals stepped on a black cloud. Their eyes were densely cold as they looked below them and laughed in a strange fashion. Elder Kai Yun, we will take 1 each. Mu Lan glanced at the monstrous demonic chi from the 3 great demon generals in an indifferent fashion. After which, he smiled at first Elder Kai Yun and said, "All right." Kai Yun nodded and laughed. After which, the both of them moved and appeared in front of the 3 great demon generals. Monstrous Yuan power surged like a Yuan power sea. Langmo, I will leave those ants to you. Shamo and I will deal with these two. One of the three demon generals spoke in a densely cold voice. No problem. Blood will definitely flow like a river in the fiery flame city today. Since we have appeared, we must definitely let these lowly humans know how terrifying the Yimo are. The demon general called Langmo laughed. Both his eyes were filled with a cruel and murderous desire. Xinlian, we will be leaving him to you. Elder Kai Yun cried out in a deep voice. After which, he exchanged glances with Mu Lan. Majestic Yuan power surged before it turned into an earth-shaking attack that swept towards the other two demon generals. Following the clash of the four individuals, the entire world began to tremble. Countless number of people in the city began to flee like a panicked swarm of locusts. After all, if they were to even be touched by a fight of this level, it was likely that they would be turned into dust. All disciples of the Flame Divine Hall, listen up. Take up your respective positions and activate the hall guarding formation. Those below the profound life stage are not allowed to fight. Tang Xinlian's pretty face suddenly turned cold. Her hand gripped the long fire phoenix spear before she slammed it onto the ground. A cold cry resounded over the entire city. Yes. Countless cries resounded across the city at the same time. Immediately, Lin Dong could see countless light figures suddenly rushing towards all directions in this incomparably huge city. After which, brilliant bright red light shot towards the sky. Finally, it formed 100,000 feet large formation in the sky. The formation slowly rotated while a seemingly endless frightening yuan power brewed. Flame Divine Hall Enforcement Unit, listen up, form the Sky Flame Formation, guard the north of the Great Formation. Flame Divine Hall Flame Divine Guards, listen up, form the Subduing Demon Fire Formation, guard the south of the Great Formation. Flame Divine Hall Flame Army, listen up, form the Flame Divine Hall and guard the west of the Great Formation. Tang Xinlian stood in the middle of the city. Her clear cries contained an authoritative tone as it continued to resound across the city. A large group of army would whistle out from a corner of city each time her cry sounded. They stood in the sky in an orderly fashion as many auras gathered together and soared towards the clouds. Lin Dong lifted his head to look at the large army quickly assembling in the sky. His eyes contained a shock that could not be hidden. This was the true fighting strength of the Flame Divine Hall. A great amount of people was being moved in an orderly fashion in Tang Xinlian's hands and transformed into a terrifying war machine. Lin Dong looked at the graceful figure holding a fire phoenix spear in front of him. At this moment, she possessed the awe and boldness that a genuine commander had. Tang Xinlian lifted her head as the formation in the sky was successfully being organized. Her pretty eyes contained a sharp iciness as she locked her eyes on the Yimo general in the distant sky. An icy cry reverberated throughout the place. All elders, attack together with me. Kill the Yimo and protect our divine hall. This video will end here.